The gavel cracked like a gunshot through the humid air of the New Orleans auction house, and in that split second, Alex Rivera knew his life had shattered into 1,000 invisible shards. 17 years old, outed to his devout family just months after his father's death, he stood on a creaking platform, heart pounding against ribs that felt too fragile to contain it, as the auctioneer's voice boomed. Lot 47, Alex Rivera, healthy, educated, but openly gay. Starting bid, $5,000 for guardianship rights. The crowd, a sea of polished suits and pearl necklaces in the French Quarter's underbelly, shifted uncomfortably, whispers slithering like snakes through the tobacco-scented haze. No one raised a paddle. Not one soul saw value in a boy whose only crime was loving who he loved. Alex's throat tightened, the weight of their stares burning hotter than the Louisiana summer sun filtering through the rain-streaked windows. He clenched his fists at his sides, nails digging into palms slick with sweat, refusing to let the tears blurring his vision fall. This wasn't supposed to be his story. A kid from the vibrant chaos of the Ninth Ward, raised on gumbo and gospel choirs, dreaming of Broadway lights in New York, now reduced to this dystopian farce. In a world where foster auctions had twisted into a desperate bid for survival after economic collapse orphaned thousands, families like his had signed away rights to unfit children for a payout. His mother, eyes hollowed by grief and prejudice, had whispered apologies as the social workers dragged him away. "It's for the best, Mijo. They'll find you a place." But here, under the gilded arches of this relic from antebellum days, repurposed for modern cruelty, no place existed for him. The auctioneer cleared his throat, sweat beading on his forehead as he scanned the room. 4,000? 3? Come on, folks, this boy's got spirit, skills in music and art. A real talent. Silence stretched, thick and suffocating, broken only by the distant wail of a saxophone from a Bourbon Street club. Alex's mind raced back to the night it all unraveled. The stolen kiss with his best friend under the live oaks, the screams from his uncle's Bible-thumping mouth, the eviction from the only home he'd known. He'd fought it, screamed back, "I'm not broken, I'm just me." But the system didn't care about truths like that. It cared about bids, about fitting square pegs into holy holes. A woman in the front row, her hair piled high like a crown of judgment, shook her head and muttered to her husband, loud enough for Alex to hear, "Can't risk it. What if he influences the little ones?" Laughter rippled, cruel and low, slicing deeper than any knife. Alex's chest heaved, a sob clawing up his throat, but he swallowed it down, lifting his chin. He wouldn't beg. Not here, not ever. The platform felt like a scaffold, the spotlight a noose. And, as the auctioneer's voice faltered, 2,000, anyone, Alex wondered if this was the end, if he'd be shuttled to some forgotten state warehouse for rehabilitative camps where kids like him were fixed with prayers and isolation. Then, from the shadows at the back, a hand shot up, steady, unyielding. The room gasped as one, head swiveling toward the bidder, a tall black man in his late 20s, dressed in a simple navy coat that hugged his athletic frame, his face calm, but eyes blazing with something fierce and unspoken. 10,000, he said, voice smooth as aged bourbon, cutting through the tension like a lifeline tossed into storm-tossed waves. The auctioneer blinked, paddle frozen midair. 10,000 from the gentleman in the rear. Do I hear 11? Silence again, but this time it hummed with shock. Whispers erupted. Who is that? Must be crazy, paying premium for damaged goods. Alex's gaze locked onto the stranger, heart slamming against his ribs. The man's dark eyes held his, not with pity, but with a quiet fire that said, "I see you." For the first time that night, Alex felt seen, not as a label, a burden, but as a person worth claiming. The gavel fell. Sold to bidder 89 for $10,000. Congratulations, Mr. Hayes. As the crowd dispersed into the rainy night, Alex was led off stage, legs numb, mind reeling. A social worker thrust paperwork into his trembling hands. Sign here. You're Jordan Hayes' ward now. He'll meet you at processing. Jordan. The name echoed in Alex's skull like a promise or curse. Who was this man who'd thrown away a small fortune on a stranger's broken son? As guards escorted him to a holding room, the saxophone's mournful cry followed, weaving through the patter of rain on cobblestones outside. Alex sank onto a bench, burying his face in his hands. Freedom? Or just another cage? He didn't know, but in that fragile moment, a spark ignited. Hope, raw and reckless, flickering against the dark. The door creaked open hours later, and there he stood. Jordan Hayes, rain-dampened curls framing a face carved from quiet strength, his smile tentative but warm, like sunlight piercing storm clouds. Hey kid, name's Jordan. Guess we're family now. He extended a hand, calloused from years as a carpenter in the bayous, and Alex stared at it, pulse racing. Family. The word tasted foreign, sweet, and terrifying. He took the hand, grip firm despite the tremor in his own. Alex, he whispered, voice cracking. Why me? Jordan's eyes softened, thumb brushing Alex's knuckles in a gesture too gentle for a stranger. Because no one else saw what I did. And because sometimes, family isn't blood, It's the choice that saves you. As they stepped into the downpour together, New Orleans's neon lights blurring in the sheets of rain, Alex felt the first crack in his armored heart. This man, this unexpected savior, had bought more than a award. He'd bought a chance at redemption, and in the electric air between them, something deeper stirred, a connection that whispered of storms yet to come and sunrises worth the fight. But as they drove through the flooded streets in Jordan's battered pickup, the radio crackling with Zydeco rhythms, Alex couldn't shake the knot in his gut. Jordan spoke little, his profile etched against the dashboard glow, but his presence filled the cab like a bomb. "Got a place up in the Garden District," he said finally, glancing over. "Old shotgun, house my grandparents left me. Room for you. No strings, at least not the bad kind." Alex nodded, staring at the passing shotgun homes with their colorful facades hiding secrets within. "You don't know me. What if I'm trouble?" Jordan chuckled, low and rich. "Trouble's what makes life interesting, Alex. And I know enough. Saw you up there, holding your ground. Takes guts." The praise landed soft, warming the chill from Alex's bones. For the first time since the auction, he breathed easy, the scent of magnolias and motor oil mingling in the humid night. They pulled up to a lavender-painted Creole cottage, porch swing creaking in the breeze, fireflies dancing like lost souls. Jordan unlocked the door, flipping on a lamp that bathed the living room in amber light. Bookshelves groaning with jazz records and carpentry tools, a worn leather couch inviting secrets. "Your room's upstairs. Fresh sheets, your own space." He hesitated, rubbing the back of his neck. "Dinner's gumbo, if you're hungry. Made it myself." Alex followed, the stairs groaning underfoot like old bones. The room was simple, a brass bed, window overlooking a courtyard tangled with jasmine, a guitar leaning in the corner that made his fingers itch. This is real?" he asked, voice small. "As real as the rain," Jordan replied from the doorway, leaning against the frame, his silhouette strong and safe. "Get some rest. Tomorrow, we figure out the rest." Alone, Alex collapsed onto the bed, tears finally spilling as exhaustion claimed him. Jordan's voice echoed in his dreams. Family's the choice. And for the first time, the word didn't taste like lies. But beneath the warmth, questions swirled. What price would this family demand? And why did Jordan's gaze linger, stirring feelings Alex had buried deep, feelings that could either heal or would destroy them both? Morning light filtered through lace curtains, painting golden stripes across Alex's face, pulling him from a sleep haunted by auction hammers and judgmental stares. He woke with a start, disoriented, the scent of chicory coffee and frying beignet wafting up from below. For a heartbeat, he panicked. Where was he? Then memory flooded back. Jordan, the rain-slicked drive, the room that felt like sanctuary. He sat up, rubbing sleep from his eyes, heart steadying as he glimpsed his reflection in the vanity mirror. A boy with rumpled curls and shadows under his eyes, but alive. Free, almost. Downstairs, Jordan moved through the kitchen like a man at peace with the world, broad shoulders flexing under a faded Saints t-shirt as he stirred a pot on the stove. The space was a cozy chaos. Mismatched mugs on open shelves, a radio humming Nina Simone's velvet voice, sunlight glinting off a bay window overlooking a garden overrun with hibiscus and heirloom tomatoes. "Morning," Jordan said without turning, plating powdered sugar-dusted beignet. "Coffee's hot. Black, right? Figured you for a strong brew type." Alex slid onto a stool at the scarred oak island, surprise flickering through him. "How'd you? Saw you at the auction preview. You had that look, like you needed something to kickstart the fight." Jordan slid the plate over, their fingers brushing, sending a jolt up Alex's arm he quickly dismissed as static. He grabbed a beignet, sugar dusting his lips, the sweetness bursting like forbidden joy. "Thanks. For everything." Jordan poured coffee, settling across from him with his own mug, steam curling between them like unspoken words. "Don't thank me yet. Paperwork's a beast. Guardianship means school's back on, therapy if you want it, and me playing dad whether I'm cut out for it or not." His tone was light, but his eyes held weight, scanning Alex's face as if mapping uncharted territory. Alex sipped, the bitterness grounding him. "Dad? You? No offense, but you don't strike me as the tie-in suit type." He gestured vaguely at Jordan's work-worn hands, the faint scar across his knuckles from some long-ago mishap. Jordan laughed, a sound that rumbled deep and true, easing the knot in Alex's chest. "Hell no, I'm the build-a-treehouse at midnight type. Grew up in the Treem, apprenticed under my pops restoring jazz clubs. Lost amid the flood in '05, Katrina took half the neighborhood." His voice dipped, grief a shadow crossing his features, but he shook it off. "Family's what you build after the waters recede. That's why I bid. Couldn't let another kid drown in that system." The vulnerability hit Alex like a wave, mirroring his own losses. He thought of his father, the quiet man who'd taught him guitar chords by the Mississippi, gone too soon to cancer, leaving a void his mother filled with church fire. My pops. He was the only one who got it. Said love's love, no labels needed. Then he died and... He trailed off, fork scraping the plate. Jordan reached across, hand hovering before resting lightly on Alex's forearm. Warm, steady. Sounds like a good man. And you're carrying his fire. That's enough. The touch lingered a beat too long. Electric, and Alex pulled back, cheeks heaving. What was that? Gratitude? Or something dangerous, blooming in the quiet spaces? They ate in companionable silence, the radio shifting to Louis Armstrong's trumpet, notes weaving through the air like threads pulling them closer. Jordan cleared the plates, then leaned against the counter, arms crossed. Plan for today. Get you settled. Clothes, books, whatever. Then, if you're up for it, show you the quarter. Real New Orleans, not the tourist trap. Alex nodded, pulse quickening at the normalcy of it. Yeah, I like that. As Jordan grabbed keys, Alex followed him out to the porch, the swing inviting lazy afternoons. The city awoke around them, vendors calling, streetcars clanging, the air thick with possibility. But as they walked toward Canal Street, Alex's phone buzzed, a restricted number, a voicemail from his mother. Alex, honey, I saw the news. Praying for you. Remember, God's got a plan. The words twisted like a knife, her voice laced with that familiar mix of love and denial. He deleted it, throat tight, but Jordan noticed the flinch. Old ghosts. Something like that. Alex shoved the phone away, forcing a smile. Lead on, oh wise guardian. The day unfolded like a dream Jordan conjured from thin air. They hit thrift shops on Magazine Street, Jordan haggling over a vintage leather jacket that fit Alex like it was tailored for rebellion. Suits you, Jordan said, eyes lingering on the way it hugged Alex's shoulders. Makes you look like you could take on the world. Alex's skin tingled under the gaze, a flush he blamed on the heat. Lunch was po' boys at a hole in the wall, grease dripping on a wax paper as they talked, really talked. Jordan shared stories of rebuilding after the storm, how he'd come out at 20, estranged from his own kin until a cousin's wedding thawed the ice. Hurt like hell, but made me who I am. Stronger. Alex opened up too, halting at first about the boy who'd kissed him under the oaks, the betrayal that followed. Felt like the whole world auctioned off my heart before they even got to the real one. Jordan's jaw tightened, fork pausing midair. Bastards. But you're here now, and that world's got nothing on you. His voice dropped, intense, and Alex met his eyes, seeing not just a guardian, but a man who'd fought his own wars and won. Afternoon led them to Jackson Square, where artists sketched under live oaks, tarot readers whispering fates. Jordan bought Alex a sketch pad, pressing it into his hands. Draw what you feel. No judgments. They sat on a bench, watching a street performer juggle fire, flames dancing like the turmoil in Alex's soul. He sketched Jordan's profile unbidden, strong jaw, kind eyes, lines blurring as dusk fell. As stars pricked the sky, they wandered to a jazz club on Frenchman Street, the air pulsing with bass and brass. Jordan ordered hurricanes, non-alcoholic for Alex, and they claimed a corner table, the music wrapping around them like a lover's embrace. Dance? Jordan asked during a slow number, hand outstretched. Alex hesitated, heart thundering. Yeah. On the cramped floor, bodies swaying, Jordan's hand on his waist felt like anchor and spark. They moved close, breaths mingling, the world fading to just this, two souls sinking in the dim light. Alex's head spun, not from the drink, but from the pull, the way Jordan's thumb traced his side, innocent yet charged. Back home, porch light glowing, Jordan paused at the door. Good day. The best, Alex breathed, stepping closer, the air thick. Their eyes locked, and for a heartbeat, lips hovered, temptation incarnate. Then Jordan stepped back, clearing his throat. Night, Alex. Sweet dreams. Upstairs, Alex lay awake, body humming, mind racing. Family, Jordan had said. But this felt like more. Romance unfurling like jasmine in the dark, risky and real. Down the hall, he heard Jordan's footsteps, pacing, and wondered if he felt it too. The auction had sold him a chance, but this was the real bid, for a heart worth everything. Yet as sleep claimed him, a shadow loomed. The auction house called the next day. Loose ends, they said. But Alex sensed trouble brewing, whispers of challenges to Jordan's claim from conservative groups sniffing for scandal. The fight was just beginning, and in its fire, their bond would either forge or fracture. The phone call came at dawn, shattering the fragile piece like glass under boot heel. Alex jolted awake to Jordan's raised voice drifting up from the kitchen, sharp, edged with that Bayou steel. What do you mean, contested? I paid fair. Signatures are notarized. He crept to the stairs, eavesdropping his words like morals clause, and inappropriate match slithered through the receiver. Jordan's fist clenched around the cordless, knuckles whitening, his face a storm cloud in the morning light. Alex's stomach dropped. Inappropriate. The word they'd branded him with, now turned on his savior. He descended slowly, bare feet silent on the creaky treads. Jordan hung up, slamming the phone down, breath ragged. Bastards from the auction board. Some busybody filed a petition. Says a single gay man raising a gay teen is high risk for influences. He spat the last word, disgust curling his lip. Alex leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed to hide the tremble. So they want me back, on the block. The thought clawed at him, back to that platform, eyes devouring him like vultures. Jordan whirled, eyes flashing. Over my dead body. We're fighting this. He crossed the room in 2 strides, gripping Alex's shoulders, the touch fierce with protectiveness. You're not going anywhere. I chose you, damn the paperwork. The intensity in his voice, the heat of his hands, sent Alex's pulse skittering. He nodded, swallowing hard. What do we do? Lawyer up. Got a friend in the quarter, civil rights shark named Lena. She owes me for fixing her porch after a nor'easter. Jordan released him, but not before a thumb brushed Alex's collarbone, lingering like a secret. Breakfast first. Can't battle on empty. They ate in tense quiet, the radio silenced, birdsong outside mocking their turmoil. Alex poked at his eggs, mind whirling. This was the system's true auction. Not money, but souls, bartered on altars of prejudice. Why fight for me? You could walk away, save the hassle. Jordan's fork stilled, gaze piercing. Because walking away is what they did to me. To you. And I won't be part of that chain. He reached across, covering Alex's hand with his own. Deliberate this time, warm and unwavering. You're worth the war, Alex. The contact sparked, a current racing up Alex's arm, settling low in his belly. He didn't pull away, couldn't, as their fingers intertwined, rough against smooth. Seconds stretched, charged, until Jordan cleared his throat and withdrew. Finish up. Lena's expecting us. The drive to her office in a Marigny was a blur of shotgun houses and murals screaming revolution. Lena Vasquez, a firebrand Latina in her 40s with a mane of silver streaked hair and eyes like lit fuses, greeted them with hugs and curses. Malditos hypocrites, she muttered, ushering them into a cluttered space alive with case files and protest posters. Heard about the auction. Whole city's buzzing. You too made headlines. Mystery bidder saves outcast youth. Now they're clawing back cause it doesn't fit their fairy tale. She pored over documents, glasses perched on her nose, while Jordan paced like a caged panther. Alex sat silent, sketching absent-mindedly. A courtroom, gavel raised, but in the corner, 2 figures hand in hand, defiant. Lena slammed a file shut. Solid case. Guardianship's ironclad unless they prove endangerment. We'll countersue for discrimination. Hit him where it hurts, the wallet. Relief washed over Alex, tentative as a tide. How long? Months. Hearing in 2 weeks. She eyed them both, a sly smile tugging. But play it smart, keep it clean. No scandals. Her gaze flicked between them, sharp as a scalpel, and Alex felt exposed, the almost kiss from last night hanging like smoke. Back home, the afternoon dragged under gathering clouds. Jordan tinkered in the workshop out back, sawdust flying as he planed wood for a new crib, a side gig for a neighbor. Alex watched from the garden, hoeing weeds with more force than needed, dirt caking his nails. The labor grounded him, but his mind wandered to Jordan's laugh, the way his shirt clung to sweat-slicked skin, biceps flexing with each stroke. Stop, he chided himself. He's your guardian. Family. But the label chafed, too small for the ache building inside. Dust brought a knock. Unexpected, ominous. Jordan wiped his hands, opening the door to a slick-suited man with a briefcase and a smile like oil. Mr. Hayes? Reverend Elias Thorne from the Family Values Alliance. Just a friendly chat about your new charge. Jordan's jaw set. Not interested. But Thorne pressed, stepping over the threshold uninvited. We represent concerned citizens. Alex's background, it's volatile. We could help relocate him to a faith-based program. Therapeutic, you know. Alex emerged from the kitchen, fist-balled. I'm not a disease. His voice shook, but he held ground, hazel eyes blazing. Thorne turned, feigning sympathy. Son, it's for your soul. Repentance heals. Jordan stepped between them, a wall of unyielding muscle. Get out, or I'll make you. The air crackled, Thorne's facade cracking as he backed away, muttering threats of public interest stories. Door schlemmed, silence descended. Jordan turned to Alex, face thunderous. You okay? Alex nodded, but tears pricked. They won't stop. It's always like this, hunted for breathing. He sank onto the couch, head in hands. Jordan knelt before him, tilting his chin up with gentle fingers. Hey, they want to break us? We'll build instead. His thumb wiped a stray tear, the touch igniting fireworks under Alex's skin. Eyes locked, breaths synced, and the world narrowed to the space between, lips parting, hearts hammering. Then Jordan leaned in, slow as molasses, forehead resting against Alex's. I won't let them take you, he whispered, voice husky. The almost kiss hovered, electric, but he pulled back, regret flashing. We can't. Not yet. Alex's heart fractured, desire and fear twisting. Why not? The words escaped raw. Because I want this right. You deserve right. Jordan stood, distant to chasm. Movie night? Distraction. They settled on the couch, an old rom-com flickering. Ironic, heartsick heroes finding love against odds. Jordan's arm draped the backrest, fingers grazing Alex's shoulder, innocent torture. Laughter bubbled, forced at first, then real, easing the storm. But as credits rolled, Jordan's hand slipped down, curling around Alex's. No words, just hold, promise in the quiet. Night deepened, rain pattering like prayers unanswered. Alex lay awake, Jordan's scent lingering on the pillow he'd borrowed for comfort. The hearing loomed, Thorn's shadow lengthening. But in the dark, possibility glowed. Romance wasn't just stolen glances. It was this, fighting side by side, choosing each other against the world. Yet doubt whispered, could they win? Or would the auction's echo claim them both? Outside, lightning cracked, illuminating the garden where secrets bloomed unseen. The week blurred into a frenzy of preparation. Lena's office a war room strewn with legal briefs and coffee stains. Alex pored over depositions, his testimony scripted but soul-bearing. The auction's humiliation, his mother's abandonment, the dreams he'd clutched like lifelines. Jordan shadowed him, a constant presence, driving him to counseling sessions where a soft-spoken therapist named Dr. Ellis unpacked the trauma in gentle layers. You're not defined by the bids, Alex, she'd say, her office smelling of lavender and old books. You're the one placing value on yourself. But nights were the battlefield. Jordan cooked, jambalaya simmering with sausage and secrets, while Alex strummed the guitar, chords weaving stories of longing. Their conversations deepened, skirting the edge of confession. Ever been in love? Alex asked one evening, fireflies winking outside as they shared a porch swing. Jordan sipped his beer, gazed distant on the street lamps. Once, college, a guy from the debate team. Smart as hell, but the world. It chewed us up. He chose safety. Regret laced his words, and he turned, eyes searching Alex's. You? Alex's fingers stilled on the strings. That kiss under the oaks. It was fireworks, but he ran. Said I was too much. Vulnerability cracked his voice, and Jordan shifted closer, the swing creaking. You're not too much. You're everything. The words hung, heavy with intent, and Alex's breath caught as Jordan's hand found his knee, thumb circling slow. Heat bloomed, undeniable, and Alex leaned in, lips brushing Jordan's in a tentative graze, soft, questioning. Jordan froze, then surged forward, kiss deepening with a hunger held too long. Hands roamed, Alex's and Jordan's curls, Jordan's cupping his jaw, tongues tangling in a dance of need and release. The world dissolved to taste and touch, rain-scented air, hearts colliding like thunder. They broke apart, gasping, foreheads pressed, Jordan's whisper ragged. God, Alex, we shouldn't, but I can't stop. Don't, Alex pleaded, pulling him back. Not yet. The kiss reignited, fiercer, bodies pressing on the swing until creaks protested. Jordan lifted him effortlessly, carrying Alex inside, up the stairs to his own room, door shutting with a decisive click. Clothes shed in a trail, moonlight silvering skin as they tumbled onto the bed. Jordan's mouth traced Alex's neck, eliciting gasps, hands mapping curves and planes with reverence. Beautiful, he murmured against collarbone, descending lower, lips and tongue worshipping every inch. Alex arched, fingers twisting sheets, pleasure coiling tight as Jordan took him in, slow and thorough, building waves that crashed in shuddering release. After, tangled in limbs and sweat-damp sheets, they lay whispering. This changes everything, Jordan said, tracing Alex's spine. For the better, Alex replied, nuzzling his chest, heartbeat a lullaby. Love, unspoken but etched in touches, wrapped them like a ward against the storm. But dawn brought reality's bite. A subpoena arrived, Thorn's alliance demanding Jordan's financials, painting him as unstable. Leverage, Lena growled over speakerphone. They're digging for dirt. Alex's counseling unearthed more, nightmares of the auction, waking sweat-soaked beside Jordan, who held him through tremors. I'm scared we'll lose, he confessed one session, Dr. Ellis nodding sagely. Fears the auctioneer's gavel, she said. Strike it down with truth. Public scrutiny mounted. Tabloids splashed their story. Guardian or groom. Controversy rocks, NOLA, adoption. Protests brewed outside the courthouse. Signs waving protect our youth, laced with hate. Jordan shielded Alex, but cracks showed. Missed calls from old friends distancing, whispers at his job site. Yet their bond fortified. Evenings became rituals. Jordan teaching Alex to carve wood, hands guiding hands over lathe, sparks flying literal and figurative. Alex composed a song on guitar, lyrics of auctions and anchors, Jordan harmonizing in bass rumble. Romance wove through domesticity, stolen kisses over breakfast, slow dances in the kitchen to Coltrane. The night before the hearing, tension peaked. They made love again, urgent and tender, bodies affirming what words dared not yet say. I love you. Alex breathed post-climax, the confession slipping free. Jordan's eyes shone, hand cradling his face. Love you too, kid. More than bids, more than battles. They slept entwined, but Alex dreamed of gavels falling, Jordan vanishing into shadows. Hearing day dawned muggy, the courthouse a fortress of marble and malice. Dressed in his leather jacket, Alex gripped Jordan's hand as they entered, Lena striding ahead like a general. The courtroom buzzed, reporters, activists, Thorne smirking from the prosecution table. Judge Harlan, a stern woman with silver bun and no-nonsense eyes, called order. Testimonies flew. Social workers reciting Alex's file like a rap sheet, Thorne thundering about moral decay. Jordan took the stand, voice steady. I bid because I saw a boy worth saving, not fixing. Love isn't a risk, hate is. His gaze found Alex's, anchor in the gale. Alex followed, voice quavering at first, then rising. They auction my worth, but Jordan claimed my heart. He's family, and more. Deny that, and you auction humanity itself. Tears fell, but chin high, the room hushed. Lena's closing scorched. This isn't about guardians. It's about bigotry's last stand. The judge recessed, hours ticking like bombs. Outside, protesters clashed, chants for and against, police lines taut. A bottle sailed, shattering near Alex's feet. Jordan yanked him back, arm shielding. Stay close. Verdict came at dusk. Petition denied. Guardianship upheld. Sanctions on the alliance for frivolous filing. Cheers erupted from supporters, hugs exchanged. But as they exited, Thorne cornered them in the hall, face twisted. This isn't over. We'll expose you both. Jordan's response was ice. Try it. We're unbreakable. He pulled Alex into the crowd, lips brushing temple and promise. Homebound, victory tasted bittersweet, love affirmed, but threats lingering. That night, as they celebrated with champagne and candlelight, Alex raised a glass. To us against the odds. Jordan clinked, eyes smoldering. To forever. But in the quiet after, Alex sensed the shadow deepening. Thorne's vow no idle bluster. Romance had won a round, but the auction of their souls raged on. Euphoria from the hearing lingered like champagne bubbles, but reality's hangover hit swift. Jordan's carpentry gigs dried up, clients citing distractions, whispers of scandal chasing him like bayou fog. He hammered away in the workshop, frustration etching deeper lines around his eyes, but never at Alex. We'll weather it, he'd say, pulling him close for kisses that tasted of sawdust and determination. Alex threw himself into school, transferred to a progressive arts academy in the quarter, where murals screamed acceptance and teachers saw his sketches as revolutions. Classmates, a non-binary poet named Riley, a trans drummer called Kai, welcomed him into their fold, late-night jam sessions in abandoned lofts turning pain into poetry. You that auction kid? Riley asked once, dreads swinging as they passed a joint. Badass. Write a verse about it. He did, lyrics spilling like blood. Gavel falls, but I rise/claimed by love, not lies. Jordan hummed back up in the garden, their voices blending under stars, but Alex caught the strain, bills piling, Jordan skipping meals to stretch paychecks. Thorne's threat materialized in tabloid venom. Secret affair in Nola Foster fiasco? Blurry photos, their porch swing embrace, twisted into sleaze. Protests swelled, pickets outside Jordan's job site, slurs scrawled on their fence, pervert pair. Jordan scrubbed them at dawn, jaw clenched, while Alex fumed inside, sketching caricatures of Thorne as a cartoon vulture. Lena sued for defamation, but the damage festered. One night, Jordan came home late, knuckles bruised, lip split. Ran into some concerned citizens at the bar, he muttered, ice-packed a face. Alex's heart seized, cleaning the cut with trembling hands. This is my fault. If I hadn't. Stop. Jordan cupped his face, fierce. You're the best damn thing. They want to hit. Latching. We hit back harder. The kiss that followed was bruising, reclaiming, bodies colliding upstairs in a frenzy of need. Alex on top, riding waves of Jordan's moans, claiming power and surrender. After, spent and sated, Jordan whispered, marry me. Not legal yet, but vows. For us. Alex's breath hitched, tears pricking. Yes. God, yes. They exchanged rings the next day, simple silver bands engraved with chosen, in a backyard ceremony witnessed by fireflies and Lena, who officiated with tequila shots and tears. But joy cracked under pressure. Alex's mother called, voice shrill over the line, saw the papers. Disgracing your father's name. Come home, repent. He hung up, shattered, collapsing into Jordan's arms. She hates me. Jordan held him through sobs. Her loss. You got a family here, me us. They made love slow that night. Healing touches, but dawn brought worse. An eviction notice. Landlord buckling to alliance pressure, citing community standards. Packing boxes in the humid heat, Alex unearthed his father's old guitar case, letters tucked inside. Yellowed notes from his pops. Be brave, me Joe. Love fierce. Tears blurred ink, and he clutched them, resolve hardening. Lena pulled strings, finding them a cramped apartment in the Bywater. artsy enclave of shotgun shacks and street art. Moving day, friends rallied. Riley hauling amps, Kai drumming morale. Jordan nailed shelves, sweat gleaming, and as dusk fell, they collapsed on the floor amid pizza boxes, laughing through exhaustion. New life sparked. Jordan landing freelance restores for queer-owned galleries. Alex's art catching a local exhibit eye. Romance deepened in stolen moments. Picnics by the levee, fingers laced as the river rolled lazy. Midnight drives, windows down, wind whipping confessions of forever. Yet Thorne circled, his alliance funding reform, rallies, flyers decrying their lifestyle as poison. A brick through their window one night, glass shattering like hope, sent Alex spiraling. He lashed out in session with Dr. Ellis. It's endless. What do we win? When you define victory, she replied. Not their silence, their irrelevance. Emboldened, Alex channeled rage into activism. He spoke at youth center, voice steady. They auctioned me, but I bought myself back, with love. Applause thundered, Jordan in the front row, pride shining like beacons. Their first real date post-vows. Preservation Hall, jazz swelling sultry. Jordan in button-down, Alex in that leather jacket, hands linked through the crowd. On the dance floor, bodies flush, the music pulsed like their heartbeats, slow grind, lips grazing ears. You're my melody, Jordan murmured, hands slipping low. Home, they undressed by candlelight, exploring with painter's patience. Jordan's tongue tracing tattoos Alex inked in rebellion. Alex's nails raking back in ecstasy. Climax crested together, cries mingling. Afterglow a cocoon of whispers. Dreams of adopting kids one day, building a legacy unbreakable. But the axe fell mid-autumn. Thorne's coup. Anonymous tip to child services, alleging abuse, fabricated bruises. Investigators swarmed their door at dawn, badges flashing, eyes cold. Routine check, the lead said, but Alex saw the lie, panic rising like bile. Jordan faced them calm, inviting entry, while Alex paced, fists clenched. They poked through drawers, questioned separately. Alex grilled on inappropriate relations, cheeks burning. He's my husband in heart, he snapped. That's not crime. Cleared after hours of hell, but the scar lingered, trust eroded, paranoia seeding. Jordan punched a wall that night, plaster cracking. They'll pay. Revenge brewed subtle. Alex's exhibit opening, pieces screaming their story. Auction hearts, a canvas of gavel and embrace. Crowds thronged, critics raved. Thorne's face on a flyer in the corner, mocked as relic. Sales poured in, funding a legal fund with Lena. Jordan carved a sculpture for the show. Two figures intertwined, wood polished to gleam. Us, he said, unveiling it on stage beside Alex. But victory soured when Alex's mother appeared at the gallery, frail in floral dress, eyes pleading. Mijo, please, let me help. She clutched a Bible, words tumbling. Regret, therapy offers, a church miracle for them both. Alex's heart wrenched, love tangled with pain. You sold me out. How can I trust? Tears streamed her face. I was scared. Forgive. Jordan stood sentinel, hand on Alex's back, silent support. I may be, but on my terms. The door to reconciliation cracked, tentative. As leaves turned crimson, their love fortified, walks hand in hand, defying stares, nights of passion reaffirming vows. Yet Thorne's final play loomed, a class action suit against predatory guardianships, naming them poster children for ruin. The battle peaked, hearts on trial, but in each other's arms, they found unyielding ground. Winter gripped New Orleans in unusual chill, the Mississippi shrouded in mist, as if the river itself wept for the fraying threads of their world. The class action suit ballooned, Thorne's alliance rallying donors with sermons of salvation, painting Jordan and Alex as harbingers of moral collapse. Court dates stacked like storm clouds, Lena burning midnight oil, her updates grim. They're flooding the judge with affidavits, expert shrinks calling your relationship grooming. Jordan's temper frayed, nights spent pacing the tiny Bywater apartment, floorboards groaning under his weight. Grooming? After what we've built. He collapsed beside Alex on their sagging futon, burying face in his neck, inhaling the citrus of his shampoo like antidote. Alex held him then, fingers combing curls, murmuring, we're solid. They can't touch this. But doubt not. Alex's art sales dipped, galleries wary of controversy. While school buzzed with rumors, lockers scrawled with slurs. Riley and Kai rallied, organizing a flash mob protest outside the courthouse. Rainbow flags whipping in wind, chants of love wins, echoing off pillars. Alex joined, megaphone shaking in grip. They bit on my body, but my heart's not for sale. Jordan watched from the steps, chest swelling with fierce pride, pulling him into a kiss amid cheers, defiant, unapologetic. Reconciliation with his mother stuttered forward. Awkward coffees at neutral cafes, her apologies halting, laced with scripture. I see now, Mijo, your father's light in you. Progress, fragile as spun glass, but Alex clung to it, inviting her to a holiday jazz brunch. Jordan charmed with easy grace. Gumbo served with stories of his own fractured kin. Family evolves, he said, and she nodded, tentative thaw. Yet Thorne struck low, leaked evidence, doctored photos of their intimate moments, splashed across Alliance billboards. Humiliation burned, Alex curling fetal in the shower, water scalding as sobs racked. Jordan joined him, arms encircling, whispers battling the spray. They're desperate. Means we're winning. Their lovemaking that night was reclamation. Slow, sacred. Jordan entering him with whispered litanies of adoration. Bodies sinking in rhythm older than pain. Mine, Jordan growled at peak. Alex's cry affirming yours. Spring bloomed defiant. Azaleas exploding pink against gray skies. Lena's counteroffensive landed blows. Depositions exposing alliance donors' hypocrisies. Closeted politicians. Laundered funds. Public tide shifted. Op-eds hailing Alex's exhibit as cultural touchstone. Jordan Sculpture's commission for pride floats. A breakthrough came mid-trial. Whistleblower from the auction house, a jaded clerk named Marco, testifying to systemic bias. Gay youth funneled to reform, bids, record shredded. Saw Alex's file flagged unadoptable pre-sale. He said, voice steady under cross-exam. The courtroom gasped, Judge Harlan's gavel demanding order, her eyes narrowing on Thorne's table. Alex took the stand again, transformed. No longer the trembling boy, but a young man forged in fire. You auctioned dignity, but Jordan bought hope. Our love, it's the antidote to your hate. Tears glistened, but voice thundered. Jordan's nod from the gallery, fueling him. Thorne's redirect faltered, bluster crumbling as Alex parried. Call it what you want. It's real. And it's forever. Recess brought chaos. Reporters swarming, supporters mobbing. Outside, Alex's mother waited, arms open. Proud of you, she whispered, hug fierce. Jordan joined, the trio a tableau of mended fractures. Trial dragged into summer, heat wave mirroring tempers. Jordan's freelance boomed, restoring a queer history museum, hands shaping narratives of resilience. Alex graduated high school with honors, valedictorian speech a mic drop. From auction block to this stage, we claim our stories. Diplomas in hand, he and Jordan celebrated on a riverboat cruise, jazz floating over waves, bodies swaying under strings of lights. Future's ours, Jordan toasted, ring glinting as he dipped Alex for a kiss, laughter bubbling free. But Thorne's endgame unfolded, a midnight raid, Alliance thugs torching their storage unit. Art, tools, memories ash. Fire trucks wailed, Alex arriving to smoke and sirens, Jordan holding him back as flames devoured. Everything, gone. Alex choked, but Jordan's grip anchored. Not us. We rebuilt. Insurance fought, but community surged. Fundraisers at the youth center, Riley's poetry slams raising thousands. Jordan carved from scrap, a phoenix rising, gifted to Alex on their 6-month vowiversary. From ashes, he said, making love on the gallery floor amid sketches, passion painting new beginnings. Mother's redemption deepened. She volunteered at the center, baking king cakes for events, her Bible now companion to pride pins. Learning, she'd say, and Alex forgave fully one humid night, tears shared over Ada fee. Trial climaxed in fall, leaves carpeting streets like confetti. Lena's closing eviscerated. This suit isn't justice. It's jihad against joy. Witnesses piled, Dr. Ellis affirming their health, Marco's files damning. Judge Harlan ruled, dismissed with prejudice. Alliance fined for abuse of process. Guardianship and life affirmed. Cheers erupted, hugs crushing. Thorne slunk away, empire crumbling under IRS probes. Alex and Jordan emerged into sunlight, hands clasped, world remade. Post-victory haze, a quiet wedding at City Hall, Lena officiating, mother tearful witness. Vows exchanged, in auctions and ashes, I choose you, sealed with kiss, rings renewed. Honeymoon in the bayous, cabin on stilts, nights of starlit swims and endless explorations, bodies and souls merging in ecstasy. Back home, life bloomed. Alex's first gallery solo show, Jordan's workshop expanding. They mentored auction survivors, turning pain to purpose, a nonprofit claimed hearts, auctioning art for youth funds. One evening, porch swing creaking under double weight, Alex leaned into Jordan. We won. Jordan kissed his temple. We always would. Love's the highest bid. But in quiet moments, Alex pondered the scars, lessons etched deep. Romance wasn't fairy tale. It was fight, forgiveness, fierce holding. And in Jordan's arms, he found home eternal. Yet a whisper remained. New auctions loomed for others. Their story? A beacon, calling them to the block. Years folded like accordion bellows, expanding their world while compressing time into treasured vignettes. The Bywater apartment traded for a Garden District shotgun revival. Jordan's hands breathing life into beams, Alex's murals splashing color on walls. Claimed hearts thrived, a beacon pulling auction survivors from shadows. A trans girl named Sage, fostered then adopted. Twin brothers, out and proud, mentored in art. Board meetings buzzed in their living room, laughter drowning old gavels. Alex's career soared. Commissions from NYC galleries, his book bids and bonds a bestseller, pages pulsing with their saga. Jordan's sculptures dotted public spaces, a park monument in the Treem, intertwined figures defying chains. Mother became Graham, holidays a gumbo of grace. Her stories now laced with pride, Bible verses twisted to affirm. Romance evolved, no less fervent. Anniversaries marked with rituals, recreating that first dance, slow under chandeliers, bayou getaways, bodies slick in moonlight, Jordan's whispers, still my everything, drawing cries of surrender. They adopted Sage at 16, her coming out celebrated with cake and colts, family photos capturing joy unscarred. Thorne faded to footnote, alliance dissolved in scandals, his sermons silenced by subpoenas. But echoes lingered. National reforms, auctions phased for true foster equity, Alex testifying in D.C., voice carrying nullifier. No more bids on souls. One crisp October eve, echoing that fateful auction, Jordan knelt in their courtyard, jasmine heavy. We built empires from dust. Marry me legal, now Prop 8's dust too. Ring offered sapphire-eyed, Alex's yes a sob, kiss ceiling. Ceremony at dawn on the levee, river witness, sage flower girl in braids. Vows renewed. Through gavels and graces, I claim you. Reception spilled into the quarter, brass bands parading, friends toasting resilience. Life's kinks persisted, Sage's teen rebellions, tempered by love, Jordan's bad back from years hammering hope. But they navigated, therapy a toolkit, date nights sacred. A decade on, Alex reflected in his studio, brush paused over canvas. Their portrait, aged, graceful, Jordan's salt pepper curls, Alex's laugh lines. The boy from Block? Man now, heart full. Jordan entered, arms circling waist. What's brewing? A legacy, Alex murmured, turning for kiss, soft, enduring. Ours, and theirs. As sun dipped, painting sky in auction gold, they stood entwined. No one had bought the gay boy once. But in choosing each other, they'd auctioned the stars. Romance a revolution. Family of fortitude. Love the ultimate claim. In the end, value wasn't sold. It was seized, shared, sung, eternal. And in New Orleans's soulful hum, their story whispered, choose fierce. Love wins. Always.